Hey guys, welcome back to the Emlyn in the Mix podcast. What a week it has been. Huge announcements, huge drops. I almost wanted to make this podcast earlier, but I was afraid another announcement was going to get made. Anyway, we're doing it at the regular time slot, of course. Welcome back to the Emlyn in the Mix podcast. For those of you who are new to this podcast, what is it about? If you like music technology, music gear, new gear, and that excites you, that's what makes you just pumped and inspired to create and get in your studio, because ultimately this is what this podcast is about, is I want to inspire you to create, not just go out there and spend a bunch of money. Let's look at what's cool. Don't hurt your wallets, although if it's something you're really interested in, of course, go out and grab it. There are some great affiliate links we've got here today as well. Full disclosure, of course, and I'll let you know when we get to those. And just so much cool news to go through. And you can always support the podcast if you've been listening to this podcast. We're up to, I don't even know, we're up to 100 and, what are we? We're season 3, episode 19. So we're 119 episodes deep in the podcast. And you're loving what I'm doing, you can support me by shouting me a coffee. Got my coffee here, of course. You doing a support for the coffee is, of course, not just getting me a coffee, but supporting the channel. We really appreciate that. The link is down below. It always is. And let's just get stuck into the podcast, because my goodness, what a week. Now, there was, of course, Super Booth, which was happening in Berlin. It may still be happening, but when you listen to this podcast, might be over. Super Booth it's a crazy synthesizer nerd out festival. Literally all the massive synthesizer brands are dropping or showing their new hardware there. I mean, there was even, I'm not even going to get to it on the podcast today because there's so much to get through, but there's a brand new Oberheim synthesizer. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. The OB-XA, I think it was. Wow. Just so many huge synth drops, but we will be talking about some of those here today on the channel, especially Teenage Engineering making their drop with the new OP-1 or the updated OP-1. Let's get stuck in, guys, because there's a lot to get through. You can see I'm already rambling before we even get to the first product here. So Korg announced the NTS-2, which is an oscilloscope kit and patch and tweak with Korg, which is a book. So this sort of came out of left field because people sort of thought there would be an update to the NTS-1, which is sort of like a build-it-yourself kit synthesizer. And the NTS-2 definitely delivers in its build-it-yourself DIY style that Korg is becoming more renowned for these days. I mean, I like the idea of DIY because, I mean, this is pretty simple DIY. It's literally putting some screws together, but you kind of get a feel for how the synthesizers or this oscilloscope is put together, and you get a better understanding of what's under the hood, and I kind of like that. So anyway, let me just read a bit back about what this release actually involves. So Korg, in collaboration with noted publisher Bjorks, I hope I'm probably butchering the name, of course, is proud to present a fascinating Korg and app synth exploration experience in the form of this special limited edition bundle. And the bundle combines the NTS-2, which is the update, of course, NTS-1, a powerful new tool optimized for a variety of studio tasks, and the patch and tweak in Korg with Korg book, a comprehensive look at semi-modular synthesis through the lens of Korg and ARP's iconic synthesizers. So by picking up this and getting the book, you can learn about how, I guess, synthesizers work, how sounds are formed, how they change, along with many other cool features in there. Now, along with a multitude of artist interviews, patch tips, tutorials, historical explorations, and more, this book will teach you how to put the NTS-2's power to work in your studio as a companion to your synthesizer and audio gear. And synth beginners and seasoned musicians alike will find the journey not just educational, but also inspirational and full of discoveries. So let's have a quick look here. There you go. That's the brand new NTS-2. It's got a color OLED screen. Looks pretty cool. You can see you got 4 different oscilloscope waves there going at once. Looks like you got triangular, square, sine, and a sawtooth. We jump through there. There's the back of it there. You got your output, your through input. Does that have MIDI? I guess there's input through might be your MIDIs. Outputs here. Where's your audio out though? What are we audio outing from? And you got a USB there as well. That looks pretty cool though. If you have a look at that, you got your kit. Basically, you screw it together there. And there's a picture of the book. I mean, this is kind of fun if you're into like learning more about and tweaking synthesizers, learning more about synthesizers and patching them and so forth. This is going to give you everything you need to know. Now, what is included with the NTS-2? If we jump down here, just quickly, they're calling it the Swiss Army knife of the studio. So it's a useful tool set for musicians. So it features a 4-channel oscilloscope with its dual stereo input. It is a dual stereo input. Okay, that's what I was wondering. I wasn't sure if they were MIDI inputs when we're looking at the back there. You can study up to 4 signals at once. Comparing and overlapping them with ease. A variety of display modes lets you see your data in color, a huge advantage over the old oscilloscopes you've seen in science fiction movies. Its user interface is clear and quick thanks to its dedicated menu, buttons, and clickable encoder knobs. And its 240, 320 pixel, 2.8 inch color LCD is a joy to watch. It wasn't OLED, sorry, LCD screen. Still, nonetheless, it is a big upgrade from the NTS-1. FFT spectrum analyzer. So if we have a look here, if you're watching the podcast, of course, on YouTube, simulcast, as we do these days, there it is there. And that, to further dive into analyzing any signal, the NTS-2 also comes with a dedicated FFT fast Fourier transform mode with real-time spectrum analyzer. These handy tools have always been out of reach for the synth musician because they either required expensive hardware or a nearby computer, and now you can carry them in your pocket. So that's a cool little feature. And then we've got a dual waveform generator. We'll just have a quick look there at the picture. And let's just read that back. But the NTS-2 is much more than just an oscilloscope. The flexible wave generator mode has 2 oscillators with dedicated outputs, so you can test your synth rig or just get creative. Each oscillator can create a variety of waveforms: sine, square, triangle, sawtooth, pulse, and noise, whose shape and phase can be adjusted to suit many applications. And these sounds can be used in the audio range or as control voltage sources, and they can be set to cycle continuously or act as one-shot impulses. That means you can turn them into LFOs, envelopes, triggers, and control voltage generators, as well as sound sources. Attaching the NTS-2 to any patchable synthesizer instantly expands its power in useful ways, making it an analog synth player's dream tool. And it's also got an onboard tuner. That's pretty cool. Like if you're a guitarist or you're trying to tune some instruments, or even I guess you could tune your voice. It has a microphone built in, I believe. I could be wrong there, don't quote me on that. But the tuner, of course, coming from Korg, this multifunctional utility kit wouldn't be complete without a precise and easy to use tuner with multiple display modes, being able to receive and monitor up to 4 input signals. Okay, so you got the 4 input signals there at the same time. The NTS-2 is an analog synth player's dream tool. So I guess also, old, I don't know, I'm trying to work out who this is marketed towards. I guess it's marketed to most studio owners that have synthesizers around, because even your old synthesizers can go out of tune. So having the tuner here, I guess you can just check that it's all, up to scratch. And it's got really good connectivity if we look at the back of that there. And I guess it really is what they're saying, the Swiss Army knife of, synthesizers, because this little guy is going to be able to help you just check everything's running good. You can learn about synthesizers as well. I think it's a really interesting and cool tool to have around, and well done to Korg. I mean, kudos to Korg for always being innovative when it comes to this sort of thing. It's battery powered as well, and I just like the idea of building. I never got the NTS-1. I was very tempted to get it, and I don't know why I didn't get it in the end. I guess I just forgot about it, so much going on. But the NTS-2 looks like fun. It looks like DIY fun, as they say here. New tech, DIY fun. There's a little assembly video here. We won't play it back on the podcast here, but go check it out, korg.com. It's the first featured product on their website at the moment because it's the latest release, and it dropped at the Super Booth in Berlin. It looks freaking cool. If you like having a little tool like this around, if you're a synthesizer nerd, much like me, I don't even know if I consider myself a synthesizer nerd. There are people out there who are so dedicated. They got those huge walls of patchable synths. I haven't gone down that wormhole, and I don't think I ever will. But I mean, if you're one of those, you definitely kind of need something like this. But even just having some older synths around like I do, this could be a useful tool for me to check that everything's running fine and learning a little bit about synthesis and how combining sounds and how they work. I think this is a cool little tool to have around. Check it out, Korg NTS-2. Let's keep moving along here. Some great news here. This is a special that I like to see. I'll try and have a link for this down below in the comment section. Not sure if I will at this stage, if I'll be able to get one, sorry, but we'll see if we can get one for you guys on this, because this is crazy good. The iZotope Community Appreciation Bundle, which happens, I don't know, maybe a couple of times a year, or maybe it's once a year. But now they've got 15 plugins for $49.99. So there's no affiliate link for this for me at the moment. But this is a cool deal I wanted to share with you. And even if there's no affiliate link, I like to share things with you, because for 99% of the stuff I show you guys, there is no kickback for me. And I'll tell you if there is, okay? So this one, elevate your production with 15 plugins from Native Instruments, iZotope Plugin Alliance, and Brainworks for a limited time. Bundle and save on these powerful tools to spark your imagination and enhance your creativity, whether you're just starting or you're a seasoned pro. So the other thing I love about doing this podcast is introducing perhaps new people who are up and coming in working on their studio or getting into music production. This sort of thing is like a Kickstarter for them, because check out what you get here. You get RX Elements, Ozone Elements, Neutron Elements, Nectar Elements, Trash 2, Vocal Synth 2, R4, and Nimbus powered by Exponential Audio, Massive by Native Instruments. Wow. Guitar Rig 6, I didn't even know it had Massive. That's pretty huge, actually. Guitar Rig 6 LE from Native Instruments, and BX Digital VX, BX Console N, BX Subsynth. That's a really good one, actually. That gives you lots of bass. BX Stereo Maker and BX Delay, and the BX Delay 2500 from Brainworks. And you get some Brainworks plugins in there. I mean, this is, if anything, this is an incredible product for $49.99. It's nuts. So even if you're not starting out, maybe you're looking for some fresh new plugins and you haven't got any Brainworks or iZotope, go check this out. I thought this was a really good deal. And again, I will put a link down below for you guys just to get to the page on here, because I think that's a great deal from iZotope. All right, now we spoke about this one last week. Just a quick another mention, because this deal is going to end pretty soon, and this is the affiliate link, actually. So just check this out if you're interested in this. If you like making EDM, you like that supercharged dance electronic music, this you're going to love. The expansion drop number 4 from Native Instruments, but this deal on this is ending really soon, so I thought I'd just give it a quick mention again here on the podcast. We did speak about it last week, and you're saving up to $80 on Massive X and enjoying the free expansions. It's pretty damn good. Basically, you're getting the brand new Massive X, or brand new, I should just say Massive X, and you're getting these incredible expansions. I'll give you one more listen, just in case you missed it last week. Here is Charge. Let's have a listen to this. Ready for the drop. Nice. Oh yeah. We had that demo last week. It actually always catches me off guard, that demo, because when the drop happens, then you get these really awesome sounding like sort of bass effects going on in the background. Anyway, that's just one of the expansions. You get 3 different expansions with this amazing deal. Go check it out. It's amazing. Get Massive X and those 3 expansions. If you like making that kind of music, affiliate link down below. Check it out, do yourself a favor, and get the deal while you can, because there's only another couple of days. If you're listening to this podcast in the future, I am terribly sorry that you missed out on this deal. All right, let's move along to our next piece of news. This is a new drop from Native Instruments. So this, my friends, is 40's very own instruments. Who's 40? Well, if you've been living under a rock, you don't know who 40 is. Noah, 40, Shabib, the legendary award-winning producer of Drake, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Nas, Sade, I hope I'm saying those names right, I'm sorry, Alicia Keys, Party Next Door, and Action Bronson brings you 2 brand new Play Series instruments for keys and drums. And there's a special introductory price right now. I'll put an affiliate link down below. This one has an affiliate link as well. But if it's something for you, check it out. If it's not, don't worry about it. Let's skip over this, hey? What is 40's though? Let's check this out. This is pretty cool. New drop. 40's very own keys. So tap straight into the genre-defining sound of 40's productions. His custom keys instruments is packed with inspirational sounds dialed in and recorded by the man himself in his legendary Sota studios. 150 inspiring presets blending classic synths, electronic pianos, grand pianos, and more give you access to his distinctive sound alongside a custom 40 macro control that lets you dial in his signature underwater sound right off the bat. And 40's very own drums, over 200 essential drum sounds custom created to sit perfectly in any mix by 40 himself. 40's very own drums is all about high quality and beautiful simplicity, designed to create pair-backed hip-hop beats par excellence. Okay, play in beats live or start from a selection of built-in MIDI patterns and then dial in even more flavor with a dedicated 40 macro control. All right, cool. Let's have a quick listen to the audio demo here. Check out how it sounds. Real dreamy. I really like what they've done also with just the creativity on the GUI. Like, it looks so cool. If you have a look here, if you are watching on YouTube, the podcast today, it's cycling through this sort of GIF here, image of Noah 40, but then they've done this cool, like this thing here with the studio they've created for the GUI on this. The design is really awesome. I love that. So check that out, 40. This is actually really exciting because obviously this producer has produced some of the biggest artists of the last decade for sure. Like, they're huge names. Drake, Jay-Z, just to mention a couple. Alicia Keys. I mean, these are huge name drops that this guy's producing, and you heard from that beat that I just played back. If that's your style, go check that out. You want to make that sound, you got it here with this instrument. It works inside Contact, and it's from Native Instruments. Well done to Native Instruments for this huge drop. I'll put an affiliate link down below for the intro price. Check it out. You've got a few days before it ends. All right, new instrument here from Ableton Live. Slink Devices is a fascinating collection of Max for Live devices modeled on the natural movement of water and generated head-spinning special effects, subtle analog style modulation, and evolving unpredictable melodic ideas, all controlled by the uniquely flexible Slink Wave engine. So the Slink filter is a creative filter bank comprising 32 bandpass filters whose amplitude is automated by the movement of Slink Wave engine and some analog flavor drift and wobble to a basic synth patch through gentle modulation of the frequency spectrum, or delve into the advanced tab and creative, captivating, ever-changing spectral stereomorphing effects. And you've also got the Slink LFO and Slink LFO CV and Slink MIDI. So you might be wondering, what does all this Slink stuff sound like? Let's just get straight into the demo here. Let's have a quick listen to Slink in action. yeah, so you get 3 devices. It's inspired by water, they're saying here in the video. And yeah, so the 3 devices are your Slink filter, your Slink LFO, and your Slink MIDI. And if you were watching there on the video, you could see them all sort of working in action. It is a Max for Live. It is an expansion. It does cost money. I do have the Australian dollars here, 109. I dare say that's probably about 60 USD, but sounds really cool. Like if you're into more experimental and you like the Max for Live stuff, maybe let's listen to another demo because I really enjoyed that. Let's see. Hopefully it's not the same one. Same one. Let's listen to another one. Here we go. Wow. That is so beautiful. Whoa, just cuts off. It's such a beautiful piece of music though. Wow, so nice, that demo. I guess you can hear the MIDI sort of operating there, like the Slink MIDI, and it's running through all the modulation and the filter. And when it pushed into the background towards the end of that demo, wow, did that sound magical. Whoa, that is one of the most beautiful demos we've played on this podcast. Absolutely amazing. Again, if this is something that interests you, go check it out. Slink devices, a new Max for Live instrument for Ableton Live. And it also comes with 76 presets, 2 live sets, and 4 Max devices. All right, another drop. Wow. I just can't believe we have to squeeze all of this in this week because there's just so much. I'm trying to get through it as quickly as possible for you guys. But Arturia announced V Collection 9. Yes, they're updated to the V Collection. The update to the V Collection reference instruments for music makers, a premium suite of professional software instruments ranging from modern hybrid synth engines to emulations of the most evocative instruments ever made, enhanced for today's production workflow. So the V Collection 9 has an intro offer at the moment. And let's just quickly look at what is new. So the new instruments in V Collection 9 is the Korg MS-20V, which is, of course, a plug-in synth version of the MS-20, which is amazing because, I mean, we already have, Korg's already done an MS-20 emulation, but being that it's a Arturia, we know it's going to sound incredible. We might have a quick listen to that now on the podcast, but we'll just go through the other instruments here. We've got the SQ80V, which is a hybrid lo-fi crosswave synth fusing thousands of digital waveforms combinations with crunchy analog filters. Augmented strings is part of this, which we spoke about on the podcast a few weeks ago. And now, I haven't seen this one, augmented voices, which is blending the human voice with multiple synth engines and expressive controls for evocative hybrid sounds. And they've rebuilt in V Collection 9. Oh wow, they've done the CS80 up to version 4, Prophet 5V, Prophet VSV, and piano is version 3, next gen physical modeling piano with 12 beautiful models ranging from vintage, grand to modern cinematic, re-engineered in absolute detail. Very nice. 14 exclusive sound packs in V Collection 9 as well. And yeah, I mean, let's have a listen to one of these brand new instruments because that is exciting. That is amazing. Arturia nailing the emulations. I'm excited. And the GUI looks, I'm going to be real, this looks better than the Korg version. Actually, just looking at this GUI here, it looks really nice. Hopefully, where have we got? We've got a sound demo here. The analog, here we go. Elemental Korg MS-20. V unites screaming oscillators and filters with a semi-modular architecture and cutting-edge upgrades for a monstrous virtual instrument that transcends subtractive synthesis. Actually, the GUI, wow. The demo's not playing back here for some reason, but oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, we're going to play the demo. Here we go. Nice. Whoa. Okay, there you go. If you wanted a demo, wow, harnessing the chaos. If raw energy had a sound, this would be it. Korg MS-20V channels the high voltage sound and hack circuit quality of an iconic beast of a synth, and the resulting sound is every bit as primal and fearsome as it always was. Do you dare to tame it? Well, we just heard in that demo what a wild sound, and that is the MS-20 emulation by Arturia MS-20V. Jesus, that sounded good. The meaner of synths here, they've done a great job. There's a bunch of demos here. I'm excited to check this out, actually. This looks really exciting what they've done with this. I know there's an emulation of this. I know Korg's got the emulation, but obviously Arturia got the rights to do this from Korg, and I think they've done, from what I can see and hear, my goodness, have they done an amazing job. And that's part of the V Collection 9. We have to keep moving on. Wow, I'm blown away. I didn't even get to see that before the podcast or hear that, but that is something else. And you've got the SQ80V. Anyway, head over to Arturia, check out V Collection 9. If that interests you, definitely that interests me. I will be getting my hands on that. All right, Softube. Wow, we're just drop after drop. We're getting to the main product. Don't worry, we're getting there. So Softube has released a new reverb plugin. My gosh, we have got a lot to get through here, don't we? Atlantis dual chambers, and it's two of the best sounding reverb chambers in the world, perfectly captured, featuring additional modern features, intuitive parameters, and straightforward workflow, created in collaboration with the studios that shape the sound of Pop Atlantis Studios in Stockholm, Sweden. Let's have a quick listen. Let's have a listen here. Some strings dry. All right, and then let's listen to strings wet, long bright here. Wow. Let's have a listen to stereo chamber. All right, let's listen to bright center here, the same strings. Okay. Now I can definitely hear the difference there between stereo and center. So we got a quote here from Michael Brower, 7X Grammy Award winner, mix engineer for the Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, Paul McCartney, John Mayer, and Coldplay. And he says here, fans of ABBA know how great their mixes were and how huge those vocals sounded in all that great reverb mixed at Atlantis Studios. And that's what you're getting here. Their chambers. Softube made an excellent preset, including their ABBA reverb chain. It's good stuff. So if you like that sound, you like that sound of Atlantis Studios, here we have Softube, one of the best top emulators in the world, top plugin emulators in the world, I would say. One of Softube, definitely. And they've captured it here. Check it out. Brand new drop. Atlantis Dual Chambers sounds amazing. Really can't go wrong with Softube. If that is something that interests you, check that out as well. All right, what have we got here? We are getting there. Teenage Engineering just dropping bombs left, right, and center this year. Just out of literally what felt like maybe nowhere. I didn't think they were going to do this, actually. I thought the OP-1 was done and dusted. I mean, the OP-1 is an iconic and fantastic, amazing piece of historic synthesizer goodness produced to all of us, which is freaking expensive, by the way. But however, I have to say that when it dropped originally, it wasn't expensive. Originally they had them priced at $800, $800 USD, and then they increased the price to $1,200 eventually. And now I have to say with what they've done is they've updated the OP-1, but they haven't totally changed the design or completely, made it into something completely different. They've just added everything that the original OP-1, essentially what people were asking for and what, fans of the OP-1 were requesting, is basically in this brand new OP-1 field, as it's been touted or called. It's got everything that the fans wanted, but it comes with a hefty price tag, and we'll talk about that in a second. Look, it's got the same aesthetic if you are watching here on YouTube. They've just changed they've made it thinner. They've put the power button here on the right and just some small features. They've also updated the screen, and there's a new synth engine in there. And let's have a look here. The OP-1, louder, thinner, and 100 times better. So introducing the new OP-1 field, injected with more than a decade of ideas, refinements, and improvements, just to mention a few. Stereo throughout the whole signal chain. Bluetooth MIDI, which that is pretty cool, actually, I have to say. USB Type-C. A new speaker system with a passive driver for detailed fat and loud sound. So it's I think the woofer is underneath it or something. Kind of like the MacBook Pro speakers, the new ones. A massive 24-hour battery life, multiple tapes and recording formats, new great sounding reverb, and the Dimension synth engine, which is the new synth engine I just mentioned. An all-glass flush high-resolution display. We also meticulously reworked all graphics screen by screen, and did we mention, this is pretty weird, I guess, or cool, that it has FM broadcasting. So how does that work? So I have the OP-1 field and I'm messing around and I'm broadcasting to FM. Someone can hear that? I'm not sure. That sounds pretty interesting. And they're saying that's just some of the 100 new features. And if I just read a few here, I'm not going to read the whole 100. I mean, I could if you wanted me to, but we'll just read a few here. All new low-profile aluminium body, high-resolution flush display, internal FM antenna for both RX and TX, 8 swappable tapes for recording, 4 different tape styles, all new drum kit packs, new reverb effect mother, new synth engine Dimension, which we just mentioned, new speaker with passive radiator. This basically has all the 100 obviously features here. Pro quality 32-bit audio throughout the signal chain, stereo mixdown from synth and drum to stereo tape tracks, stereo drum sampler engine. Man, there's some really cool features here. High resolution accelerometer. I don't know why I can't speak, butchering that. Improved averaging for a more reliable tap tempo, improved equalizer with high resolution and smoother interpolation. Oh man, there's just a bunch of new features. Reworked, refined, reborn. Think OP-1 field as the natural continuation of its predecessor, updated with the latest technology, improved design, and finely tuned with professional musicians, recording artists, and sound design. Whoa, that was freaky. I just had an interruption here from Siri. Updated with the latest technology, improved design, and finely tuned with professional musicians, recording artists, and sound designers in mind. High quality in all aspects, from its circuitry to connectivity and flexibility. It's tailor-made for professionals in the field. And we can see here it's got the new stereo sample engine, just one of the features that takes the OP-1 field to a high level with increased sampling, time up to 20 seconds, and dual layer mode for instant mixing of the A and B channels or via assigned LFOs. You get Porta 4 track, you got different tape machines now. I mean, it looks pretty much the same, just except around the corners here. And it is much thinner, so we didn't want to alter the original OP-1 too much because we think we got it more or less right the first time. But by lowering the aluminium body around the keyboard, the new OP-1 field feels lighter, thinner, and more precise with 2K molding. We also managed to fit a dual 2.4 gigahertz antenna system inside the aluminium body. And it's got like Velcro things on the back. I'm not quite sure. I guess that's for the leather casing that you put around it. So they added the 2 soft Velcro rings on the back for fastening covers. There you go, and accessories. But they're saying here, perhaps you want to stick your OP-1 field on the top of your full-size keyboard or slap it on a guitar. Use the included adhesive looped back and start experimenting. On the right, you'll find an additional passive loudspeaker for hugely improved bass. And for a no more cold metal on your lap experience, we enfolded the aluminium body in a warm, soft touch hard cover. I mean, design-wise, wow. It is an updated OP-1, more or less. But who is it for? This thing is insanely expensive. Like, if we look at the price, and especially with inflation and what's happening in the world right now, I mean, this is an expensive device. Like, so they're coming out of the gate, $1,999 US. And I know we complained about that little mixer, the TX6 as well, which was $1,200, I believe, or $1,300 or $1,299 or something like that. And wow, there was a lot of complaining about the price on that thing as well. That, I have to say, that thing is unique though. That little mixer, that is a unique. Nothing else like that exists. And it's incredibly small. I can understand that you'd be frustrated. Why would you pay for this tiny thing that's the size of a deck of cards? But it can do so much. That's the thing. You got to realize this is just as good, if not better, than most fully sized mixers. 6 stereo, 12 mono input in this tiny thing that's the size of a deck of cards with onboard effects. Let's remember that. I'm in two minds on the TX6. Yes, it is pricey, but I think that's where it had to be price-wise on that. And I know there was a lot of complaints on that. And I don't doubt that the OP-1 field is an incredible, incredible piece of hardware. I mean, I've got the original OP-1. I ended up getting it when it was on sale because I always thought it was ridiculously expensive as well, but I always wanted one. This is something, I guess Teenage Engineering, are creating things that the studio musician definitely wants, but do they need it? It is a desirable product, but it's sort of out of reach. I guess they're going almost down the Apple road, like with the MacBook Pros and those sort of things, which are just like amazing. Like you'd think, oh wow, I'd really want that, but should I get this? Or, am I, can I afford this? Do I really need it? And you got to ask yourself these questions. I saw a really good video last night from someone who is a definite Teenage Engineering fan, and they were saying how with the release of this OP-1 field, they didn't even acknowledge the people who put the OP-1 on the roadmap, which I thought was interesting. They sort of just snuck this one out, came out at Super Booth, and there's a few videos floating around on YouTube now where you can watch the OP-1 field in action just from like beta testers and people like that, like small YouTube channels. And I'm not sure what Teenage Engineering is thinking, because in that video it's kind of cool. It's like the guy who's a super Teenage Engineering fan is like saying that by releasing this at $1,999, you're basically saying F you to all the Teenage Engineering fans, because who else is this really designed for? It's designed for those original OP-1 owners, right? Because they're going to be like, oh, I want to upgrade, I want to get it. But do they really want to upgrade and spend $2,000? And when you put that into Australian dollars, it's ludicrous. It's like, it's as much as that Juno X, and I just couldn't justify this thing at the moment. I think it looks great, but I'm happy. I've already got an OP-1 and I love my original OP-1. It is a classic. The OP-1 field is a step up in terms of an upgrade with all of its brand new features, having on the Bluetooth and USB-C and so forth. But where do you guys stand? I'm interested. This would have been the main product, but we had one other huge announcement this week, and we're going to go to that now because this podcast is going to end up being quite long. And that is these guys. Wow. But make sure you leave the feedback on the Teenage Engineering. I'm interested to know where you guys stand on that. What do you think of that? This is cool though. This is really interesting. This is our big announcement. This is the big drop for the week. I feel this is more exciting. I like what Teenage Engineering did, but this is more exciting. So here we have the AIRA Compact. I was always interested in Roland's AIRA stuff, and they've just released 3 new products. This looks really cool. They're really cute. They sound amazing. There's an amazing demo online on YouTube. After you listen to this podcast, of course, go check it out. Gato Bus, I think you say his name. GATTOBUS, where he has the 3 and he does an awesome demo on it. What is it though? What is it? And he uses all 3, by the way. What are these 3 products? You get a T8 beat machine, a J6 chord synth, and an E4 voice tweaker. So the AIRA Compact puts Roland's legendary creative magic in the palm of your hand. They're really small. Jam, perform, and develop ideas anywhere with genre-defining sounds. Chain AIRA Compact instruments together to extend your palette to connect with MIDI gear, computers, and music apps to expand your existing rig. Fun, affordable, and easy to learn, AIRA Compact brings serious musical power to creators on the move. And jam instantly. AIRA Compact invites you to start making music the instant you power it up. With friendly controls, inspiring sounds, and loads of creative tools, you can quickly turn simple ideas into off-the-cuff masterpieces. There they are there, if you're watching. They look really cool. So that's the T8 beat machine, J6 chord, and your E4 voice modulator thing there. Let's have a quick listen to some demos here and see what you think. That's awesome.
A revolution. The human race. Supersonic supernova. In nuclear space.
That's cool.
A revolution. The human race.
There you go. There's a performance demo there with all 3 of those little AIRA Compacts working in harmony together. You could hear the E4 voice, of course, and you could hear the T8 drum machine and the J6 all sort of working there together. And on the T8 drum machine, I believe there's like you could hear the bass, that little bass line running as well, as well as the drums going as well, which is really cool. So renowned sonic DNA driven by the advanced analog circuit behavior ACB technology found in the top line instruments, AIRA Compact delivers the real sounds behind decades of hit music. Create with authentic voices of Roland icons, including TR rhythms, TB basses, Juno synths, VTFX, and more. Class-leading connectivity, AIRA Compact provides ample I/O to interface with everything in your musical world. Synchronize and monitor multiple AIRA Compact instruments from one unit. Connect with stereo audio MIDI devices and communicate with computers and mobile music apps via USB-C. And they're totally small. You can see here from the picture. Meet the gang. Very cool indeed. So the T8 beat machine creates infectious tracks in seconds, flat with a miniature rhythm, factory powered by pristine TR drums plus bass from the inimitable TB303. That was the one I was trying to think of, the model that I was trying to think of. The J6 chord synth is pairing a powerful chord sequencer with the lavish tones of the legendary Juno 60. This portable synth toolbox has the building blocks you need to bring harmonic substance to your jams. And then the E4 voice tweaker, which is the outrageously jammable effects box harmonizer, auto pitches, vocoder loops, and glitches your voice and anything else you want to feed it. I just think these three little products look fantastic, and Roland is doing amazing things in 2022. Actually, we did do a poll this week. If I pull it up here on the Emlyn in the Mix YouTube channel, and I asked you in 2022, out of these three brands, which is your favorite synth brand? And we had Korg, Roland, and Behringer. You can't see it in my video. I'll just move it over here for a sec. And you can see Korg did lead the way at 53%, Roland coming in pretty close at 39%, and then Behringer down the bottom there at 8%. I only chose those brands. I mean, of course, there's other brands. I just thought those three were probably up there in terms of being most popular. Korg being the most popular, but Roland this year, I have to say, in 2022, are killing it. I'm loving the products that Roland are doing, and I think here you're not going to have a complaint on price. I mean, these aren't expensive at all. They're small. They are limited in terms of what they can do, but they are also very versatile and they're portable. I mean, what more could you ask for? And when I say limited in terms of, I guess, the sounds, I guess you're going to have those sounds. But if they're the sounds you're after, wow. And the amount of versatility you can do within those sounds and those engines is awesome and phenomenal. And let's be real, the TB303 has been emulated over and over and over, but people love that sound. Even in modern music production, that sound is used constantly. So you know you're going to get a high quality product with Roland. I really love these three products. I will probably end up getting them because I just think they're so cool and very innovative. If I don't get all three, I definitely want to get this E4 voice tweaker. That just looks like a lot of fun. It has this scatter wheel where you can scatter the your voice when you're singing and just get some really far out and interesting effects. And as it said here, this would be good for buskers as well. I mean, just a really cool drop there from Roland. Absolutely love it. All right, that's going to end the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me, guys, today. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. And make sure to come back next week. We'll have more exciting news as we lead up to NAMM. Super Booth is, I believe it's over now, but the hardware drops just keep coming. This is an exciting time to be a music producer. This time of the year, especially 2022, it's literally like in 2021, we had nothing. It felt like we didn't have much, at least. And then now everything is just getting absolutely dropped right now too at this time of year. Very exciting indeed. Anyway, we'll be back next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure if you loved what you heard today, you want to support the channel, you can shout me a coffee. Link down below. Links to the affiliate links down below as well. Links to the affiliate links, of course. The Massive X expansion and the 40's very own, if you like those two things there as well. And I think that's pretty much everything. Leave a comment in the comment section below if you're watching on YouTube. Let me know what you thought about all of these things. What do you think about Teenage Engineering's OP-1 Field? Do you think that's outrageously expensive, or are you going to get one? Are you going to get the Roland AIRA? You know, these three beautiful products. Oh, just let me know what you thought. Comments in the comment section below. With that, I'm out of here. Peace out, guys. Boo.